In today's video, we're going to foil the Carba-Lumpy-Rumpkis because no one wants a lumpy rump. What's up, guys? Matt McClure here. Hope you like my drawing. I'm very artistic, you know. So today's video is all about, I think, the major cause of why people have a bunch of lumps on their body and why people have the problem of being extremely overweight, especially in America. I think the main problem is carbohydrates. We value eating really crappy carbs all the time, and we don't even know it. We're like, this is healthy. There's all these like labels on things that confuse us to think, oh yeah, this is no big deal, and da 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 da. Well, today's video, I really am going to kind of make that switch in your mind about what is a good carbohydrate and what is not. Also, like, how much do you need to eat as far as carbohydrates go? Because a lot of people tend to overeat. Like, the carbs they're eating, you know, might not be the best for them, but if they would eat less of them, like in a meal serving size, they would do better. I think a lot of it's about pacing yourself too throughout the day, and people really don't know what these carbs are doing to them. So let's get down to this. And by the way, I have some other goodies I'll be sharing with you, and this whole video series I'm making on weight loss, and you know. So let's get down to that. All right. So I have a table full of just a bunch of food items, right? I kind of divided as into good carbs versus crappy carbs. I think we should start with the crappy carbs because you gotta have an idea of what that is. Crappy carb number one. A lot of people are getting angry with me on this one, but pasta. You know, pasta I think is one of the things that really contributes to people just like picking on some extra pounds. They go out to dinner, and what's worse at restaurants, like they use this huge serving of pasta, right? Which, by the way, if you look at the carbohydrates over here, there's 41 carbohydrates for a serving size. Now, why is that important? Well, here's the important thing. If you want to lose weight and get like nice set of abs like I do, you're gonna have to like, oh, maybe that's not your goal, but regardless, if you want to go from being bigger to being trim, you have to have a new value in terms of when you're eating. For example, you know, pasta's not by itself, like it's not going to kill you, it's not going to blah, 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 but it's more of a long-term thing compounded over time. And I think the main thing is, it's that serving size. No matter what, pretty much any pasta serving you're getting is going to be 41 carbohydrates. There we go. And why that's such a staggering number is because, like, for example, I'm 160 pounds. And I'm on like a low carb diet right now. I'm doing some other things in my diet. It's not bad to do, but I suggest other people be more of a low carb diet or more good carb diet, right? Which your NAFs are going to be lower. But the thing with this is, in terms of leaning down, say you want the six-pack abs. This is why no one ever has them. Like I go to the gym. I guarantee 99% of the people at the gym do not have six-pack abs, and that's like 1% of the population already that goes to the gym. So imagine the rest of the people out there. And that might not be your goal, but still, if you want to trim down, you need to follow, I think, this advice. So here's the ratio for carbohydrates I think works best if you want to get really trim. You want to do about half your body weight in grams and carbohydrates. So I'm 160 pounds. That means my target goal is about 80 carbohydrates. Now, this can be different if you're on a big workout program, especially for guys. If you're trying to beast up. You probably don't want to have just 80 grams of carbohydrates. What you want to do is split your workout routine where you do, I would say, like maybe a 9-week program of bulking up, and then maybe do like a 6-week program of low carb right after that, with other ratios I'll get into in other videos and stuff. But this is all about carbohydrates. So with the carbs, let's get into more of why this is staggering. I mean, I said 41 grams per serving. That means if I had 2 meals of pasta per day, that gets me at all the carbs I need per day. That doesn't include anything else I have on that pasta. Any excess stuff that goes on, any appetizer you have, or the other meals I eat throughout the day. Because, by the way, the thing is, 41 grams of carbohydrates is not going to be the thing that fills you up, because you need other things in your diet, like protein and fat, to also help fill you up. So one of the problems we have is people don't get the right ratios of all these different things, and they end up eating too many carbs because, for example, if you're going to have like a low-fat product, you're like, oh, low-fat, that's supposed to be good for me. I'm not supposed to get body fat that way. That's not really true. The thing is that people tend to think that not eating fat is going to help them not be fat, but what happens is fat helps keep you full. It also adds a lot of taste, and the thing with fat is that you have a need in your body. Basically, you need a certain amount of essential fatty acids in your body that you get from fat, right? So if you don't have enough per meal, basically, your body's still going to be like, I'm still hungry. And then you're going to be like, oh, more carbohydrates. And you end up eating more carbohydrates. And just so you can feel full, right? So this is one of the big problems that we have, because we have this low-fat diet craze, which is ridiculous. It's not supposed to be that way. And then they take out the flavor, right? So now you're getting all these products that if you want to increase flavor, you either put artificial sweeteners in there like aspartame, which is ridiculously bad for you, or you increase your sugar in the product. So, or you do it with like some other false sugar like high fructose corn. You know this high fructose corn, high fructose corn syrup. It's not the best thing for you at all by any means, and I could get into a whole video on that. I'm not going to right now. But so part of it is you want to watch your ingredients, but the main thing is how many carbs you get per day. Go for half your body weight in grams. And I would actually go for this. Say if you were like 200 pounds and you want to get down to whatever, like a girl probably lower than a guy, I would shoot for your target weight and start eating like you're already at that target weight. So if you want to be like 110 skinny girl, like you want to be eating like 55 grams of carbs per day. And that does include the other things you're doing, which make up for you not getting the carbs. But trust me on that. So let me show you just how easy this is to eat way too many carbs. All right. So pretty much, I'll start with M&Ms. Sorry, I'm not trying to bash any companies out here, you know, or their products. You know, everything in moderation, right? I'm a health nut though, so I don't really eat M&Ms. Maybe I'll have one or two or something, but I had to borrow a lot of these products. I don't own them. It's kind of funny. Okay, so a quarter cup. Imagine a quarter cup of M&Ms filled out there. That's not a lot of M&Ms. Guess how many carbohydrates that is? That's 30 carbs. So imagine you had a whole quarter cup of M&Ms, and you're eating other meals throughout the day, and you wanted to go for like 60 carbs or 80 carbs or 70 carbs per day or something. You are going to overhit that limit right there, guaranteed, because this is not food. It doesn't satisfy your needs. Like, so if you want to lose weight and get really trim, have a low body fat percentage and look really good and be healthy too, you have to start valuing better foods. And there's other things, like good things, like figs. Like this is any kind of fruit. Any kind of fruit. There's two fruits right here. I have a tomato and figs. Is generally going to be better for you to eat, especially vegetables too. They're usually lower in carbohydrates, and they have basically the fructose in it. It's a sugar naturally from fruit. This is different from high fructose corn syrup. Very different. Fructose, high fructose corn syrup, huge difference. One's natural, the other is extremely artificial. And here's the thing though, it slow releases in your body, and that's part of the aspect of this too, is how fast does a carbohydrate release in your body? Does it digest quickly or slowly? Because what happens is we get these blood sugar spikes, and we basically produce insulin in our body when we get all these super fast absorbing carbohydrates, for example like cookies. All this stuff is pretty much fast absorbing carbohydrates. It doesn't fill you up for long. It doesn't satisfy you. Even orange juice. People are like, orange juice is healthy? Juices are healthy? Well, let me show you a few things that are wrong with orange juice. Well, they say 100% pure and natural orange juice. I'm like, oh my gosh. But check it out. I'm not saying that orange juice can be bad. I do think brands and companies, matter. But here's several things that are wrong with orange juice. Is one, basically, your total carbohydrates and sugar basically is 26 grams. And there's 22 grams of sugar in it, and that's for one little cup. So, like I was saying, if your goal is like 80 carbs per day and you get 26 grams in one cup, it's going to be hard to stay within that boundary. Now, here's what I recommend with any kind of juice. Well, I recommend live juices, so like getting a juicer and juicing the oranges yourself are going to be much better. It's way better than getting orange juice from some company who pasteurizes their orange juice, where they kill all the live enzymes, so you're getting dead orange juice basically. So they say you get all these antioxidants, but you're really not getting the antioxidants because the enzymes are dead. And this is all around with so many companies and advertising with food. It's ridiculous. It blows my mind. But the main thing also, well, I'm going to add one thing I just thought of. Orange juice, they also add like this to make it seem fresh, they add this like basically like a perfume, like the scent inside your orange juice, so it smells all fresh and orangey. So they put artificial things in there just so like you like, oh, like it's so fresh and orange juicy. Well, in reality, it's not. You know, it's help extend the illusion that it's fresh. I'm kind of going off crazy on this. It's funny. Here's what I recommend if you're going to drink orange juice. You know, like look at the ingredients clearly. But two, I think the major thing is it's about, you know, portions. If you were to split half and half, like if you did half a cup of orange juice and then fill the rest with water, you're getting half the calories and sugars, right? But the other thing is that it almost tastes the same. It's a little watered down, but you really don't tell. So what I do with all my juices, unless they're like pure juice, even if they're pure juice, like from a juicer, I like to put water in my juices because now I'm getting less of that carb and sugars that I don't need, so I can have really nice abs. And then I don't get depleted by something that's going to absorb my body so quickly, which most juices do. Juices are different from eating the actual fruit. The actual fruit has like fiber in it and other things, which helps slow down the absorption. So I mean, even if you have, say, orange juice with a good meal that has fiber, that's even going to help. So it's about balancing your meals with other foods, and we'll get more into that. It's like a whole science. It can be a lot simpler than you think, trust me. Let's move on. You know, I'm trying to make this video rather quick and informative. So, okay, these little, you know, I'm not trying to get on any company, by the way. I'm not trying to rag on anybody, but like these are called petite pommiers, and they're little cookies basically. Look at the carb ratio. So there's 12 carbs per one cookie. Who eats one cookie? That's my thing. And even if you did eat one cookie, you still got to eat the rest of the day, and you're probably going to eat too many carbs. So if you are going to have something like a cookie, try to limit it down to one. Or like just learn how to, I think part of it is learning how to just eat consciously, and like if you're going to have something sweet, piece of cake, something you know is not going to be good for your stomach, and you know, just you being like, just looking the way you want to, you know, like have one, eat it slowly, just absorb the flavors. Because what happens when you just eat unconsciously, start eating another one, we don't really think what it's doing to us, and we aren't even really appreciating the flavor. And that's the reason why you wanted the cake or cookie or whatever in the first place. So just eat things slower, and you know, try to avoid these. I would, if you're gonna be like eating treats and whatnot, try to really minimize that. Like make it maybe one day a week where you have something sweet, or maybe if you're eating a lot of sweets right now, you start, you know, staggering off a little bit. And really, it's a choice. So it's based on your values and what you value. If you value being more of the body shape that you want to be than where you might be right now, then you really have to like make that decision and really go for it. Like you have to be conscious about it. And like I said, well, I've said this in other videos, so I said, like I said, I think everything in life is a habit. Everything we do is a habit. And we can change our habits by just being conscious of them and basically creating new habits, making the opposite of that habit. So the opposite of like having treats would be not to have treats. And sometimes you can't just go from there to here. You want to like taper off and maybe make them less frequent, make it less frequent after you've made it less frequent, and then get down to where you don't even crave them anymore. Because I guarantee once you limit the amount of carbs you've been having, like you really don't eat as much. Like for example, I had pizza yesterday, and pizza's just like carb. Like, you know, I had 2 slices, but the thing was I couldn't even eat 2 slices at the point. I had 1 slice of pizza, and then I had the other later. And it's just amazing that I don't need as many carbs as I used to. And I do other things in my diet, so I'll get to those later. I have some secrets for you that are pretty awesome.